Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to a Black and Nerdy Tabletop. I'm your host, Zephonix, and today we are taking a look at Daggerheart. Now, for those who know what Daggerheart is the brand new RPG, tabletop RPG from Critical Role. I'm actually very excited to go ahead and take a look here. I've already taken a look at some of the ancestry here, and I'm already excited based on the artwork itself. Speaking of okay, I got no transition for it, but we are on Demiplane. Demiplane is your one-stop shop for all of your digital tabletop needs, whether you want to go ahead and purchase some books or you want to go ahead and make some characters, which we will be making a character here. Don't forget to go ahead and like and subscribe because we'll definitely be making a character. Check the actual YouTube page because we will have a character here, kind of a run through on how to make a character, and it is actually not only is it interesting, but it's actually different from other games. But let's jump right into these ancestries that we're going to look into, though. For now, those who don't know what it is, ancestries, race, they're relatively the same thing. But let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off with the Clank. The Clanks are sentient mechanical beings built from such materials as metal, wood, stone, and clay to resemble humanoids, animals, or even inanimate objects. Now, the fun thing about the ancestries is they kind of have kind of like a feature, if you will, for lack of a better word. And this feature for the Clanks is purposeful design. Decide who you were created by and for what purpose. When you generate your experience at character creation, choose one that reflects this purpose and add +1 to it. Now, for those who don't know what experience is, it's not what you think it is. It's not XP. Experience in Daggerheart is another word for, if I had to choose, I would say backgrounds. And it's probably not the best chorus of words to use for this, but we'll use backgrounds as an example here. So, and on top of that, you can actually use two. Now, the funny thing about it is that it's pretty open because you actually have to type in. Like, for example, if you choose that you want to be a blacksmith, you have to type in blacksmith. But at the same time, like, it's so open. You know what I mean? So, for example, you may want to go ahead and you may be able to talk the DM into using your blacksmith abilities to go ahead and maybe even find out which, how much the sword is worth, or even do some extra damage with your blacksmith abilities by knowing how a sword works and whatnot. There's a lot of things, a lot of open-ended things on Daggerheart that I absolutely love because I never realized how limited you were. I mean, especially in D&D, you're super limited. In Pathfinder, you're a lot less limited. But in Daggerheart, they're really trying to go ahead and make it almost simple and clean. I missed that phrase. It's been a while. Anyway, let's keep on going. Daemon. For those of Daemon ancestry are the humanoid descendants of the fallen gods who possesses sharp canines, pointy ears, and horns that come in a variety of styles. Interesting. And their feature is fearless. When you roll with fear, you may choose to mark a stress instead of a GM gaining fear. Now, this is actually kind of interesting because this literally messes with two mechanics. So the first mechanic is when you roll the dice, like in a battle situation, you have two dice. One is a hope dice, one is a fear dice. You might want to make sure they're different colors, just saying. When you go ahead and roll them, whichever one is higher is what you roll. So if if the hope dice is 6 and the fear dice is 4, then you roll 10 hope, because 6 and 10 is 6 and 4 is 10. So yeah, you will roll 10 hope. Vice versa is 2. If you roll a 6 and that ends up being fear, and then a 4 hope, it would be 10 fear. Okay, now the thing is that the fear is what the DM can use in order to go ahead and power up the people you're fighting. So you don't want to roll fear. Not only that, but stress is kind of like it's not really your hit points. Let's just say your pre-hit points. There's a lot to explain regarding stress and hit points, and I'm not willing to do it here, but definitely go ahead and subscribe and check out our character sheet where we go ahead and explain everything there. Moving on. Oh, I'm sorry, we've got one more here. Dreaded Vistage. You have advantage on rolls to intimidate other non-daemon creatures. Okay, that makes sense. Dracana. Dracana resembles wingless dragons in humanoid form and possesses a powerful elemental breath. Okay, I mean, we already know what elemental breath is, so it looks like it deals 1d8 damage of any particular element that you want. And then you can spend a hope to make a instinctive roll using your breath against an enemy or a group of enemies with within close range. It's very interesting. I gotta say, I'm just I'm really digging this. Um, Dwarf. Dwarves are most easily recognized as short humanoids with square features, dense muscular, and thick hair. Their feature is increased fortitude. When you take physical damage, you may spend 3 hope to only take half of the damage. So remember what I said about fear, the GM? Well, hope is the same thing for you. You get tokens and you can use that hope to go ahead and do certain things. In this case, you can go ahead and kind of take half damage. So very good, very good. Elves. Elves are typically tall humanoids with pointed ears and acute attuned senses. Nice. Celestial chances. Pretty much what happens is that you can actually go into a trance and actually heal all of your stress, which like I said before, stress is kind of like before, like it's like hit points before hit points. You know what I mean? But if you actually go ahead and where was it here? If any of the three of these dice rather have a matching value, you also clear hit points, so you can actually heal all together. That's going to be great. I'm loving that. Fairy. Those of the fairy ancestry are winged humanoid creatures with insect-like features. Interesting. Wings. Mark stress to take flight until your next roll with fear. While flying, your evasion score increases by 2. So, okay. So keep in mind, evasion is another word for AC in this game. I'm just kind of making it easy here. So definitely good. Luck Bender is very similar to Luck for halflings in other games. So we already know what that is. Fawn. Those of fawn ancestry resembles goats in humanoid forms with curving horns, square pupils, and cloven hooves. Okay, and then you get headbutt, which is kind of a D8 direct damage. That's interesting. D8 direct damage. Not you don't have to roll a D8, but it's just D8 direct damage. Interesting. Interesting. That's like you have to give the GM 1 fear though. That's interesting. You got to spend a fear to actually go ahead and do headbutt. That's so different than what other things usually do. I don't know. It's definitely different here. Furblocks. Furblocks resemble cows in a humanoid form, typically recognized by their broad nose and long ears. Their feature is natural calm. Whenever you should mark a stress, roll a 1d8. On a 6, you take no stress. That's kind of cool, actually. That'll keep you alive a lot more. Fun Grill. The fungus people, mushroom people. Okay, I like that. Fun Grill resembles a mushroom in humanoid form, bearing the features of a fungus from which they are descended from, or which they are descended. Always connected. I like this. Basically, if you've ever watched Star Trek Discovery, there was like they kind of talk about how all of the mushrooms were all connected, like all the spores were connected. This is pretty much the same thing. You would have to go ahead and write down how you would connect, but yeah, you're actually connected to all of the fun grow all over. I love that. That's such a cool feature right there. A lot to do with that. A lot you can do with that rather. Galapa. Those of Galapa ancestry resembles animatrophic turtles with a large domed shell into which the head and limbs can retract inside for defense. Ooh, I hope they got ninja class. I'm just saying. Hey, yeah, someone had to say it. Someone had to say it. I'm just saying. Shell of protection. Long story short, add your proficiency to your armor score. Now, I did say before that evasion is like AC, which it is, but there's also armor score. And basically what that is that you use your armor score to actually lower your damage. But you have a limited amount of them. So you can take damage and it kind of, you have to repair your armor eventually. It's another feature that's really cool. But yes, armor and AC in this game, armor and evasion are the different ways that you would not take as much damage. Giant. Giants are very tall humanoids with long arms, broad stature, and 1 to 3 eyes. They have endurance, which gains an additional hit point slot at the character creation, and reach, which instead of having 5 feet, you can swing 10 feet. I gotta love that. Goblins! Those of Goblins' ancestries are small humanoids typically recognized by their large eyes and massive membranous ears. And they have danger sense. I love this one, actually. Once per short rest, you may mark a stress to make the GM re-roll an attack roll. So imagine someone, the GM actually rolls, and then you can tell it's about to hit. You can be like, nope, I'm gonna do Goblin sense, and then the GM has to re-roll that roll. Now, if it still hits you, you reduce the incoming value by your proficiency. So if it hits you, you can still lower the actual attack roll. So I love that. I'm just saying, that is awesome. So we're running out of time here. I still only have 15 minutes for this particular YouTube channel, so we might have to redo this later on. But let's go ahead and jump to it and find out what the rest are. Halflings. Halflings are typically smaller humanoids with large, hairy feet and prominent round ears. We got the humans. Those of human ancestry are most easily recognized by their dexterous hands, round ears, and bodies built for endurance. Qatari. Those of the Qatari ancestries are feline humanoids with soft fur and high triangular ears. Looks like something straight from Final Fantasy. I'm just saying. Orcs. Orcs are the most easily recognized as humanoids with square features and broad-like tusks. Ribbit. Oh, what is this feature right here? Let me see. When you should mark an armor slot, roll a d6 on a 5+. You don't mark the armor slot, but you reduce the incoming damage on your armor score. Oh my goodness! So every time that you get hit, you have to roll a d6. If you are 5 and up, that means that you still reduce the damage as if you were actually using your armor to block it, but you don't actually use your armor to block it. So it's like it's all the benefits with none of the actual payment. I love it. It's the best way to live. That's the American dream. The ribbit. Those of ribbit ancestry resembles amorphic frogs with protruding eyes and webbed hands and feet. Nice. I love this one too. You can use your long tongue. You can use your long, powerful tongue to grab things close to you. You may also mark stress to unleash it as a finesse close weapon that does D12 physical damage. Imagine licking someone to death, or just the disrespect of using your tongue to smack somebody. I'm just saying. And last but certainly not resembling anything least, Somalia. Somalia, I don't know what that is, but it resembles anthropomorphic monkeys and apes with long limbs and some pre-hesitine sign feet, whatever that word is. And they have nimble. Take advantage of agility rolls that involve balancing and climbing, and add +1 to your evasion at character creation. Oh, that's actually not too shabby. Not shabby at all. That means that you're a lot harder to hit, and you get to go ahead and do a lot of balancing. Long story short, I'm actually digging this. So far, the Ancestries are pretty good. Looks like we have 12 of them. These are very good to start off with. So what do you guys think? Let me know. Comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe, and you guys have a good night. I'm out.